Hi, this is Sammie Smiles, and I'm your host, Sammie Vance. This podcast is sure to leave you inspired and with a smile. Now let's get right into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of Sammie Smiles. I am your host, Sammie Vance, and today is a special edition, which I'm really excited for. So basically, tomorrow we're celebrating my book coming out, and I'm really excited for that. And in honor of this, I am having a bunch of people who helped bring my book to life, and I'm just really excited because it's going to be a really inspiring podcast because they inspire me and help me with everything, and it's just really cool. So my book is called Inspire the World, A Kid's Journey to Making a Difference, and this podcast will explain everything about how maybe I started my book as a picture book and it turned into something for a little bit older kids, but it's still like really cool because that's pictures and everything. And right now I have my publisher, Callie, with this. So thank you, Callie, so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Sammie.
Yeah, thank you. So this is Callie Metler. She is owner of her own publishing company called Clear Fork. And that's just really neat. And she's been a big help, like a really big help through my whole book process. So Callie, you get to help make stories and turn them into books, which, like I said, is really cool. So how long have you been in the publishing company, and why is it called Clear Fork?
Oh, you know what? That's a great question that I get all the time. And it's a really fun story. So I have been publishing books since 2014 and doing mainly children's books since about 2016. And it is called Clear Fork Publishing because there is a river called the Brazos River that runs through this part of Texas, and it forks into different like mini rivers, I guess, is what you would call them. And so there's like the Clear Fork of the Brazos River, there's the Salt Fork of the Brazos River, there's the Double Mountain. But the funny thing was that I knew that because I grew up here, and of course there's lots of stuff called Clear Fork. But when I first got started, I dealt with a lot of authors, stuff from all over the world, no idea that it was a river. And so they thought that I actually named it after a clear fork, like that you eat with. and so I always thought that was so funny. And so when we got ready to name the children's imprint, we called it Spork, to kind of make fun of the fact that people thought that it was named after a clear fork that you eat with instead of an actual river.
Yeah, I always think of a fork, like a fork when I think of it, which is cool because you can use your imagination for it to be many things. But
Yes.
after a river, but that's kind of cool backstory.
Yeah.
I like it. So you have a lot of manuscripts come across your desk daily, and you have to be selective on which ones you choose for your catalog. So what drew your attention to my book Inspire and made you decide to make me an offer on my book?
Well, Sammie, I got started writing at a very young age. I was first published when I was 14. And I think the first time I met you, I told you that you had beat me out by a few years. Um, but I always loved that had kind of given me a leg up and kind of solidified my writing career at a young age, that I knew what I wanted to do. Um, and so I knew Vicky, and I had worked on other projects with Vicky, and she had sent me the manuscript, and she had said something about, I just know that this really fits with your mission for Clear Fork, and that this is really, a project that you could be passionate about. And I think because of her intro, I really paid extra attention to it. And I had read it several times and looked at it. And as things kind of developed for you, she would send me another email and say, well, Sammie's doing this, and I think we talked for about 6 or 7 months, about the manuscript and the potential and stuff. And I was so inspired by the fact that you had this vision at such a young age and that you had written this book, because that is exactly something that I would have done. Although you were younger than me, I did stuff like that at a young age, and I wanted to be able to support you in making your dreams come true, like other people did for me.
Yeah, well, I think that's just cool because, like, you're saying that, like, we can relate on different levels, even though, we're, uh, you're like, we're different ages, but, we can still relate on levels. I just think that's really cool. So, thank you, Callie, so
Sure.
much. I am so excited to get my book out in the world and hopefully inspire a lot of kids that will inspire them in many different ways to make a difference no matter their age. Like you were published at 14, and hopefully it'll inspire kids of many ages. Maybe if they want to become an author, that could be really cool. So
Sure.
yeah, so Callie, what is something that makes you smile?
Well, you know what, Sammie? I have two boys that are teenagers that are 16 and 18, and they definitely make me smile every single day.
I love that. That's a great answer. I love it. So
Yes.
yeah, thank you, Callie, so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Sammie. And I'm so excited about your book. I cannot wait to see all of the places that it is going to take you and where your future is going to be. It's going to be very bright.
Thank you. We couldn't have done it without you. My next guest is my literary agent, Vicky Savaggio. She is one of the owners of Storm Literary Agency. A literary agent takes your story and brings it to editors and publishers in hopes that they will be able to make an offer to publish your book. A lot of publishers won't actually look at your ideas until you have an agent. I have learned that I have learned a lot about the publishing industry with with Vicky and through her, and it's just been really cool friendship that we've had. But I've also learned that nothing in the publishing world is very fast. Sometimes it takes years to find an agent, but I was lucky enough to find Vicky. She offered me I think what was it? I think almost 3 years ago, which is crazy, or around 3 years ago. But this is actually only like the first step. Then you have to polish your manuscript, and the agent puts it on a submission, and we wait. We patiently, I waited patiently. My mom, not so much, but you may need to revise a lot and then resubmit your book. Like us, we kind of like changed it along the way, but it was really cool to see how it's grown. So Vicky saw the first vision on my book, which was actually a picture book. And then it grew into maybe a little bit bigger and into a little bit older. Um, like I think the age group is like 8 to 12, so it's really cool. And um, yeah, just thank you so much, Vicky, for representing Inspire the World, a kid's journey to making a difference. And yeah, just thank you so much. So
You're welcome. You're an awesome kid, and I mean, you definitely have a great story, and it deserves to be told.
thank you so much. So for the first question, I want to ask, what is the most challenging thing about being an agent?
I think the most challenging for me is rejecting manuscripts. I think that's probably one of the hardest because I tend to see a lot of potential in everything that I read. And when we write, we tend to write things that are very close to us, very personal to us. And so when I'm rejecting something, I know that somebody has really invested a lot of time, a lot of effort, or that this is some sort of experience of theirs that is very personal or very special to them. So when I reject something, I try to be very considerate and compassionate. I hope that that comes through, that, it might not be the best project for me or the best fit at that time, or maybe the timing isn't right. But I hope that I do offer something for that individual to take from that experience, that maybe there's some sort of feedback I give or something that offers them a little bit of, it kind of helps with the rejection, that yes, I was rejected, but at least I have something else to consider when I look at my manuscripts.
Yeah, I think honestly that would probably be the toughest part for me as well, just having to reject, because for me it's hard to say no sometimes.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I think that that would probably be the same for me if I was working in your position.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I was just going to say that's 100% correct. It's hard. It's hard to
Mhm.
say no, um, and it's hard to be a disappointment to people. I know that this is a dream for some people. It's a goal for some people, and being the one to say no, it isn't easy. It isn't easy on this end. So that's one of the most challenging, I think, for me, because I don't like that part of rejection. Even though as an agent, when I'm submitting manuscripts, I receive lots of rejections. So I'm getting rejected. My clients are getting rejected. um, so I understand that part of it and I deal with that, but I don't like being the one giving the rejection.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from. And yeah. So I am the only kid at your agency, and I'm quite honored as well. So, what is it that attracted you to my story that kind of made you want to represent me?
Well, as you know, when you contacted me, I was close to submissions. I was not taking on any clients, and I read your story one cap at a time, and I just thought that not only was the story very intriguing to me, but you, Sammie, what you've done, I feel that you are a really good inspiration to everybody, including me. Individuals, any individual out there can make a difference, and I think it's important that, we have a lot of things going on in the world right now, especially with the pandemic, that, there's a lot of challenges out there. But I think that being positive and trying to find the good in things, trying to do the right, having morals, having respect, trying to do the right thing. I think that you set a very good example for your generation and for generations to come, and even my generation and generations past me. I was very attracted to that, and I see sometimes a little bit of me in you, I guess. I'm certainly many, many, many years older than you, but I've always loved to write, and I've always loved to do some of the things that you're doing now at your age. And so I think that giving you an opportunity, I thought that it was worth it. It was certainly worth to give you an opportunity to take this journey with me, and however we succeed together, I was certainly open for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I think that this is like, it's just a really great partnership and relationship. And I think that it's really cool how we have been able to connect, even though, like you said, we're different ages and different roles or positions in the book or publishing world, but we've still been able to like connect and so I think that's really cool. Um,
Well, another thing that you're going to do is, as you continue to grow up and you continue to get older, your writing's going to continue to grow. And you've started at such a young age that when you're 14 and you're 15 and you're 16, if you're still writing, your writing is going to be there. You're going to be, and it takes many writers many years to really, really hone in on their skills, craft those stories, and you're getting all that experience early. And it's good that, I think that, if we continue to stay together, continue to be agents and author, all our projects together will continue to grow, and they'll continue to be strong. Every time we do something, it'll be a little stronger. So, I mean, I think you started off at a good age, and you just got to keep going.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you so much for that. So it's really hard to believe that um, here we are today and my words are actually written into a book and this book. And I just think that's really cool. So, what do you like best about how this book, or just like any books that you've kind of helped turn out? Um, Sorry, what's the best part about like seeing the turnout, or the best turnout part, if that makes
Well,
any sense?
yeah, I mean, well, I do. I think that we started with one cap at a time. And you were little, you were 8, and I mean, you're now in 7th grade. So, you have certainly grown with the manuscript. And I think that where we are now certainly is a good representation of who you are and what you've done. But it also gives a good representation of what's to come. You certainly aren't going to stop. You haven't stopped, and you're going to continue to move forward. And I think that's the part that I love about books. I get to see an idea. I get to see a manuscript in its earliest stage, and then I get to see it evolve. And I think that that's the best thing is, and especially then, like you just did, when you're able to hold that book in your hands and know that someone else is going to pick that up and they are going to have the opportunity to be inspired or to think of a way that they can help make a difference. I think that that's the important thing. It's kind of like the aftermath of after you have a book published, how many people are going to be impacted once they pick up that book. And I think that's really special. That's where the magic is that you don't even have to say anything anymore. You've already done your part. Now it's the person that's going to pick up the book and read it, and how they're going to be impacted and how that book is going to affect them. And to be honest, that's why I do what I do, because I loved books growing up and they were such a big deal to me. And I hope that the person that picks up your books is going to have that same feeling. They're going to feel like, wow, Sammie did it. I can do it.
Yeah, again, thank you so much. And I love those. Love the words. And I think that's just really cool. So, Vicky, what is something that makes you smile?
You know what? I think seeing people happy. I love when people are happy. I think that right now, I kind of mentioned the pandemic, and we all know that the last year and a half, last 2 years have been a little bit of a challenge. I think seeing people happy is probably what makes me smile the most. It's just knowing that everybody is finding something fulfilling in their lives, and they're trying to find that happiness that they deserve. And I feel that we all deserve a little happiness. And so when I see someone smiling, or I hear someone laughing, I smile myself, because I love when I know that other people are happy and they're enjoying life.
I love that and completely agree with it as well. I think it's the same for me. It's like a chain reaction or a circle reaction. So I think that's really cool.
That's right. And that's it. That's in your book. A smile is contagious. Yep. You know, if you smile, yes, someone else is going to have that. It's going to rub off. If you're grouchy and crabby, well, that mood can also pass. So it's always best to be positive and try to be as happy and like you said, smile as much as you possibly can and make the best of whatever it is that we have to deal with.
Yeah, I love that. So in this section of the podcast, you've definitely given some really amazing advice. So thank you for that. And some really kind words. Again, thank you. And again, I've just loved having you be a part of this book. And I think that's just super inspiring and amazing to see. So thank you so much, Vicky. And I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Sammie. And thank you for inviting me to be part of your podcast.
Thank you. Next up is Nicole Ginter. Nicole is the owner of Vin and Vigor Design, and she helped lay out the design for my book, which it was super helpful, and she is just so amazing. So I'm so grateful to have her in my life. Nicole, you designed many things. This was your first book design, I'm pretty sure, doing Inspire the World of Kitchen and Making a Difference, and which I am so grateful for. So what are some of your favorite things to design?
Well, hello, Sammie. It's good to be here. Some of my favorite things to design, I really enjoy logo design projects. So just helping customers create their brand and their identity, and just working closely with them to bring their vision to life is really fun for me. I like working on illustration projects that I get from customers, and yeah, just print design is really fun just because then after working on something, you get to hold it. It's in your hand, just like your book. You know, it's just a really rewarding feeling to like have something tangible to hold after you put so much hard work into it. So,
yeah, I love it. And like I said, I'm so grateful that you were able to help design my book because it definitely couldn't have been done without you.
And thank you.
Yeah. So since this was your first, or at least one of your first book book designs, are you thinking of designing more books in the future?
Yeah, I think I would definitely love to work on another book. I've done other projects that I guess are kind of similar, you know, lots of pages, booklet type thing, but this was definitely the first published book with an author. So yeah, I'd love to do more stuff like this, and it'll be really exciting to see the book on a shelf somewhere in a store. So
Yeah, you were definitely like really good at it. So I think.
oh, thank you.
No problem. So yeah, you came in like last minute and turned my book into what I really did envision, and added my my words and TJ's illustrations, and magically turned them into something really fantastic. And like I said, it was like really last minute, but you just made it so awesome. Like I knew I wanted a fun scrapbook kind of look and have like lots of fun colors and like fun things. And when I look at it, I definitely see when I look at my book, I definitely see what I envisioned. And it's just so cool to know that you kind of changed or you made it that way. And that's,
Aww,
I love
I'm
it.
so happy.
Yeah, I love it so much. So what would you say is, sorry, so what made you want to take on my project, especially since knowing that you were like in a time crunch and you were like giving me one chapter each day? So yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. The timing was good. I felt like my schedule for work was free enough that I had some projects I can push. So I felt comfortable that the timeline was really tight, but I knew how important it was for you and your mom. And I could just understand and feel just the pressure that you guys were feeling. And I thought I feel really comfortable with being able to help. And so that just felt like a good reason to do it, just to see a young woman, girl, yourself, just working so hard to produce something and then feeling like your hands were tied, that there was there was a roadblock that you didn't know how to get around. And I knew how to get around that. So it just seemed like the right thing to do to be able to help you with that. And I was very inspired by you. And I thought, what a fun project to be a part of. And I felt like that was totally worth it. And yeah, I was just, I was excited to be on this journey with you. So
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you a part of my journey. And I think that, like I said, I'm so grateful to have you be a part of it, and it couldn't have been done without you. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So Nicole, what is something that makes you smile?
I would say my family, just just seeing them together and everyone just having a special role in life, and just when we all get together, just enjoying each other, and yeah, just seeing everyone grow up, and it's fun.
I love it. Yeah, I agree with that answer and love that answer. So yeah, again, just thank you so much for helping me or helping me with my book, because like I said, it definitely couldn't have been done without you. And yeah, so thank you so much.
Thanks, Sammie.
Thank you. My last guest is the first one of this amazing group that I met. So Talitha Shipman, or TJ, is an award-winning illustrator and draws all the doodles and cartoon Sammies you will find throughout my book. She also has been, she's just been really I don't know, she's just been a great friend throughout the whole Buddy Bench project, and has been there to support me and encourage me the whole time. And she's just really amazing. So it isn't often that the illustrator picks the author, but that's kind of what happened for us. So Talitha heard about what I was doing with the recycling and Buddy Benches and reached out to my mom saying that I should write a book and maybe she could illustrate it. That was over 3 years ago, and it turns out that TJ is not only an awesome and super talented artist, but also lives only 5 minutes away from us. So it's really cool because we can just like go to each other's houses anytime, and that's just cause for us to be great friends. So I'm really lucky to have you in my life, TJ, and to be able to have you illustrate my book. And I know that that's one thing that makes it just the extra step more awesome. And maybe even tomorrow when the book is released, we can do a cat dance. I think that's necessary. Um, so yeah, you have been drawing for years, and your drawing it makes me and so many people happy and smile. You drew lots of cartoon Sammies throughout the process from because like we originally started my book as a picture book, and then it turned into the book that is out today. And yes, yay. So what was one of the most fun cartoon Sammies to draw?
So my favorite, hands down, is the one of you hula hooping. I just love that one. When I found out that you were like an expert hula hooper, and that you could even eat while hula hooping, I just that the idea of you eating a slice of pizza just popped into my head, and I just thought, oh, that'll be so much fun to draw. So that's been my favorite one, I think.
Yeah, I love that. I love that drawing. So you'll definitely have for the viewers or listeners, check out my book and find that drawing. It's I think it's a really cool drawing because I can relate to it, and TJ making it just extra awesome because she drew it. I think it's cool because yeah, it's me hula hooping and eating my favorite food too. So I love it. Sorry, I love it. So yeah. You did the mock-up for the first chapter that Nicole went off of and knocked out the rest of the book. You saw my vision from the get-go, and along with my mom, you have been one of my biggest cheerleaders, which I love and thank you so much for. What made you want to illustrate my story and to not give up on the book, even though it did take a really long time for it to get picked up?
Yeah, well, when I first heard your story, I was just so inspired by a kid who was making such a big difference for a problem that I definitely could relate to as a child. I remember being on the playground and feeling lonely, and I just knew that there were so many other adults that probably felt the same way I did, and that there was someone that was actually, trying to do something to stop that from happening to kids today. My daughter's 5. She just started kindergarten this year. So I feel like, she's hopefully going to really benefit from what you've done with the buddy benches, and a lot of other kids are going to as well. And I'm so glad that I can be part of getting the word out, that I can be along for the ride on this whole process and that I can help, in your mission. And as far as how long the book took, that actually is, the publishing industry moves very slowly. So for me, since I've been in the publishing industry for a long time, I'm pretty used to that. Actually, it wasn't too slow to me. But I know for someone who hasn't been in that world before, it can feel like it takes a long time. But I think one of the most important things about the publishing industry, and really anything in life that you really want to do and you have a goal, is to keep at it and just keep working hard at it. And it might take a year, it might take 5 years, it might take 10 years. But if it's something you really love and you're passionate about, I think you will stick with it and you'll accomplish your goal.
I love it. And that's, I think, is really amazing advice as well. And you mentioned your daughter. I think she, along as you and my mom, has been another one of my best cheerleaders. I love her. She's adorable.
She loves the buddy benches, and she loves looking through the book too. Even though she can't read yet, she only can read a few words, but she really loved the book, and that was so fun to see her pick it up and look through it too.
Yeah, it's just, she's adorable, and I love her. And we're like BFFs, okay? We're BFFs.
Yeah, well, she loves you too, and she's so excited every time she gets to see you.
Yeah, I know. I love getting to see her too. So, what do you think is one of the best parts about the Inspire the World, A Kid's Journey to Making a Difference book?
That's a really good question. I think just the fact that you are giving kids some great ideas on how to make a difference in their own way. You share with them how you manage to inspire other people, but I think you're also, wanting to pay that forward and really get kids and adults thinking about, what are my unique giftings? What are my talents? What is something that I could do to make the world a better place? And I think that this book really encourages people to do that. So I really love that about your book.
Thank you. Yeah, I love And I hope that it's going to be able to inspire many people, such as adults, younger kids like your daughter, or maybe like my age, just hoping that it'll inspire all around. And yeah, and I also love your drawings in it. I think those are just awesome.
Oh, thank you very much. It was so much fun to
Yeah.
draw all the fun little Sammie doodles.
Yeah, it's fun to look at and just see because, it's coming to life, and I think it's so cool.
Yep.
So, TJ, what is something that makes you smile?
Okay, so here's my answer. Are you ready? What? Getting to hold this book in my hands.
Yes, I love it.
Yes, I know it's a dream come true for both of us. I mean, every time um, I get a new book in the mail that I've illustrated, it's really awesome when you actually hold it and you're like, this is a real thing.
I know.
It's really real. But this one is extra special because of all the hard work that I know that you've put into it and that a lot of other people have really come together to make this happen. So that's what makes me smile right now.
This is making me smile too, and I'm just so happy to see it actually come to life. And I just think it's so cool. It's still so hard to believe that it's actually in my hands, but
Yep.
it's just really cool. So yeah. Thank you, TJ, so much for being on here. And again, just thank you so much for being a part of this amazing team that we have created with the whole book and being one of my biggest cheerleaders. I think it's super cool. So thank you so much for everything.
Oh, you're welcome, Sammie. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, so much for listening and or watching this podcast. I hope that you are inspired by these women as much as I am. It's just been amazing getting to know them and having them as support and me being able to, support them. I just think it's so cool. So the book wouldn't have been done without them. And like I said, they're just an incredible support and like a family, I guess you could say, that I have been able to receive. And I am just so excited to share the book with all of you guys. You can purchase Inspire the World, A Kid's Journey to Making a Difference online or request it at your local bookstore or library. I have links on my website, along with free activity pages and teacher resources that you can print out for free. So again, thank you so much for listening to this. And remember that you don't just have to be an adult to make a difference. You could be a kid too. I hope you have a great day. Bye.